As a student or parent, have you thought about where your education will take you? Do you know what career you want to have after graduation? If you are still unsure about what field to choose, is taking an education loan the right decision? Education loans are a big financial commitment. Without a clear plan, could it be hard to pay them back later? What if the degree doesn't lead to the job that you expected? Or if your career plans change down the road? Hi everyone, I am Simran, co-founder at Epicred and your trusted guide through the education loan process. In this video, we will answer if the education loan is right for you, whether it's worth it, and if there are any hidden costs. But before we dive deeper, let's first understand what an education loan really is. An education loan is a financial product that helps students pay for their higher education costs, be it tuition fees, accommodation, books, or any other necessary expenses. These loans are typically offered by the banks and the financial institutions with terms that vary based on the lender and the loan amount. Education loans are designed to ease the burden of paying for an education upfront, allowing students to focus on their studies while they repay the loan over the time after their education is completed. Now, why should you consider taking an education loan? First, it helps you access the better opportunities. For example, if you want to study at a top college or universities but don't have the funds, an education loan can make it possible for you. Second, it gives you financial independence. You don't have to depend on your parents or friends for money. If you are studying away from home, the loan covers things like rent, books, and other daily expenses. Another good thing is the flexible repayment. Most loans give you a grace period of 6 months to a year after finishing your studies before you start repaying. This gives you the time to find a job and earn money. Also, education loans usually have lower interest rates and you can get tax benefits under Section 80 of the Income Tax Act. This helps reduce the cost of the loan. Lastly, taking an education loan helps you build your credit history. If you repay on time, you'll have a good credit score which can be useful when you'll need a loan in the future. So education loans can be a great way to fund your studies, but they aren't always the right option for everyone. It's important to think carefully about whether taking a loan makes sense for you depending on your situation. So let's go through some cases where taking an education loan could be a good idea and where it might not be the best choice. Let's explore both sides of the equation. If you have limited funds but are planning to study in a field that offers high-paying job opportunities, an education loan can be a smart option. For example, fields like engineering, medicine, or technology tend to offer good salaries after graduation. If the course you want to pursue has a stronger ROI, taking an education loan to cover your tuition fees and other expenses could help you get where you want to go. Similarly, if you are planning to study abroad, an education loan might be the only way to cover the cost. Studying in countries like USA, UK, Canada, and Australia come with a hefty price tag. Tuition fees, living expenses, flights, insurance, all these can add up quickly. With the loan, you can focus on your studies without worrying about how to pay for everything upfront. Another situation where an education loan makes sense is if you are already working but you want to further your education or skills. If you believe that upgrading your qualification will lead to a better job prospects or promotions, a loan can help you get the education you need without giving up your job. And if your parents can't afford to pay for your education entirely, a loan can ease the financial pressure and it helps reduce the burden on your family while allowing you to build a good credit history and become financially independent. But on the other hand, there are times when taking an education loan might not be the best idea. If you don't have a clear career plan yet, it might be wise to hold off on taking a loan. Education loans are long-term commitments, and if you are unsure about your career direction, repaying that loan can become a challenge. It's important to ask yourself whether the course you want to take will truly help you reach out your goals or not. If you are still figuring things out, it might be better to focus on gaining clarity or saving for your education rather than jumping into debt. Another reason to avoid taking an education loan is if you are unsure whether you will be able to afford the monthly repayments after graduation or not. Missing loan repayments can hit your credit score, so it's essential to have a solid plan for repayment. If you are uncertain about the job market or your ability to secure a high-paying job right after graduation, taking on a large loan might add unnecessary stress. Sometimes it might be better to work for a while, saving some money and then return to studies when you are in a better financial position. Another situation to consider if you are already carrying a significant amount of debt. If you are struggling with credit card bills, personal loans and other obligations, adding an education loan could make things harder to manage. In that case, it might be better to explore other options like scholarships, part-time work, grants to finance your education rather than taking on more debts. Finally, before you take out a loan, it's important to thoroughly research the terms. Different education loans come with different interest rates, repayment schedules and conditions. If you haven't looked into these details carefully, you could end up with a loan that's not ideal for your situation. Make sure you understand everything before committing. We at Epicred, we know how big of a decision taking an education loan is. We ensure that both the students and the parents are well informed and supported throughout the loan application process so that you can make the best decision for your future. Our team can assist you in evaluating your financial readiness, comparing loan options and even finding the scholarships and other sources of funding. But before taking out an education loan, it's very crucial to evaluate your financial situation and understand the loan terms. There are several key factors to consider that can help you make a well-informed decision. One of the first things to think about is the loan amount and the interest rates, as they will affect your monthly EMI. Education loans typically have a lower interest rates than the personal loans, but the rates can vary. And the public banks usually offer 8 to 11%, while the private lenders may charge in between 10 to 14% or even higher. But we at Epicred help you compare rates from over 15 lenders, ensuring you get the best deal. Next, you need to consider the repayment terms and the grace period. Many lenders offer a moratorium period, usually 6 to 12 months, during which you don't have to pay the loan. However, keep in mind that the interest will continue to accumulate during this period, which will increase the total amount that you need to repay. Another important consideration is your eligibility for the loan. Lenders will check factors such as your academic background, the course you are pursuing, and your family's financial situation. Epicred helps you assess these factors and match you with the right lenders based on their eligibility criteria. You should also research your job prospects and the return on investment of your chosen course. If you plan to study in a high-paying fields like medicine or data science, the loan amount might be easier to repay. Lastly, one thing that many lenders don't clearly explain is the additional hidden charges associated with education loans. These can include the processing fees, prepayment penalties, and even charges for the missed payments. While these charges may seem small at first, but they can add up and increase your overall loan burden. At Epicred, we ensure you understand every cost that is involved. So to wrap it up, an education loan can be a great way to fund your studies, but it's important to plan carefully. Consider factors like the loan amount, interest rates, repayment terms, and your expected salary after graduation. This will help you avoid any financial stress later on. At Epicred, we simplify your education loan process by connecting you with 15 plus lenders, helping you find the best deal at no cost to you. And unlike banks, we are upfront about all the fees and the hidden charges. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.